Oh, here we go. Big show, Linda Steele. Big show.
It is a big show. We'll tell you more about that in a second. But first of all, do you have your fancy glasses for the eclipse coming up?
I think I have pulled them out of
Do you actually have some?
I do.
Wow.
Because of the last time that I experienced the lunar eclipse here in BC.
2017? Okay.
Yes. Actually pulled up a couple of photos.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, first, let's go to UBC with the video. Derek, do you have the video of the crew?
Look at that.
Right?
I was standing outside on West Georgia watching it, or trying not to stare at the sun like Trump. I didn't have any fancy glasses, so I was kind of,
So I got ahead of the game. As you saw, there were little kids with us, so I was like, okay, we'll make sure we have the glasses and whatnot. And they were really hard to find closer to the date. Then we got there. The crew of people that gathered, my friend Eva, Jim and Anna Maria Romer, Brian, my girlfriend Kathy, Brady and Ryan. Everybody had their special glasses on. The kids loved it. It was so wild. And then we started sharing the glasses with everybody around us. It was really a communal vibe to it.
The eclipse is Monday at 10:43 in Vancouver.
Yes.
Apparently it lasts for quite a bit, and that the full eclipse is supposed to be about 15 minutes after that.
That's wild.
And you might want to stop by at Krispy Kreme because they've got some special donuts. They're called the Total Eclipse Donuts. They've got obviously the glazed donut with chocolate icing and an Oreo in the middle.
I love
Yummy.
that. Did you hear about Niagara Falls, which is sort of the perfect spot? Well, it is the perfect spot to view this. They've called a state of emergency in Niagara Falls for this because they're expecting 1 million people to come for just that one day. Not 1 million people at UBC in 2017, though.
Okay, we have so many things to get to. Yes, this is what's coming up on the show today. One of the things we're talking about, so much happening with the BC election approaching. The Conservatives are really surging federally and in BC, and this whole carbon tax thing, Pierre Poilievre is really on it. So we're going to talk to Rob Shaw, who's CHEK's parliamentary correspondent.
There's so much happening. Rob has got rapid fire coming from us today. Holy moly, and we're so grateful that he'll be on the show. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up straight ahead. Also, number one in your hearts, number one in your program, Kirk McLean is going to join us. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. Yes, it has been 30 years since 1994. There's K-Mac doing his thing. And
love it.
Yeah, he'll be in studio with us to talk about
man, too.
The Canucks
great
clinching.
Athlete. Okay, we're also going to talk about a new documentary about the former Vancouver Sun columnist Malcolm Perry, the Society guy. Here's a little snippet.
To do a column that was going to be once a week.
He was making selfies of people before people were making selfies of themselves.
The documentary is called The Society Page. We'll have Malcolm Perry, and also we'll have the director, Kevin Eastwood, in the studio. And I just sort of rushed right through the fact that we do have a viewing party.
We do have a viewing party prize. Yeah, the BC Restaurant and Food Services Association sponsors us, and we have a Romer's or Steamship Grill and Bar gift certificate. Your choice, $100 for that. It will be given away at the end of the show today. So a big thank you for our viewing party prize for the day. And you can always get in on this for next week. Viewing party at checkmedia.ca. Take a picture of yourself watching Linda and I. Tell us where you're watching from. Yes. And maybe you'll win $100.
All right, so many things to get to, so let's do this. Okay, so we have gangsters running around firing bullets at people. This most recent, well, it hasn't even the most recent.
No, there's been another since we decided this was the most recent.
But this is busy downtown Vancouver. Idiots, check out this video.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Okay, so there are people like shooting guns. And this is right downtown Vancouver with tons of people. There was a Whitecaps game, I think. There was lots of people around.
Easter weekend.
This is not okay, and it is connected, I believe, to the Brother Keepers.
That's what we're
hearing. Gang conflict, maybe?
It's
Good
just
grief.
terrifying.
That's just so dangerous and annoying.
I don't even know what to say. Coming downtown seems extra scary because there has, like you said, been one just last night.
On Homer and West Pender or something.
It's terrifying. Okay, let's talk about the housing crisis. Again, have we talked about it literally every show that we've ever done together?
Royal Bank is saying that this is the hardest it's ever been to buy a home in Vancouver. It's a full-blown crisis. You need 106% of your income to be able to buy a home in Vancouver, 80% or something like that in Victoria.
That is crazy. And there's another sort of breaking news subject here about buying and selling and affordability, and some of the rental changes that the province brought in. Our go-to expert on real estate, Sarah Daniels, explains.
Have you been thinking about downsizing and maybe moving to a retirement community? Well, everything surrounding 55 plus has changed in BC. It used to mean that people would retire and they would move perhaps to a 55 plus community. And that meant that one or both spouses had to be over the age of 55. No children were allowed to live there full time. But if you had a caretaker, they could stay with you regardless of their age. Things have changed though now. The BC Strata Act indicates that 55 plus is still a rule, but how it's applied is completely different. So now only one owner or one tenant has to be above the age of 55. And that means that Dad, who's 58, Mom, who's 53, and their teenage kids can now move into a 55 plus community. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is not exactly what most older people were thinking about when they decided to downsize and move into communities with like-minded seniors. Something that the British Columbia government needs to address.
So Sarah was saying that typically a 55 and over unit is 15 to 20% cheaper. And now it's going to be like, okay, let's buy them up.
And to make things worse, we now have the priciest gas in North America, and they are saying it could go as high as $2.30 a litre by the end of spring, which is why a whole ton of people are going, bye-bye,
We're going to Alberta.
Right? We've
Everybody's
had this massive sort of interprovincial migration to Alberta, out of BC. That's going to be a problem as well because yikes, right?
And who in the country could push back on the idea of feeding hungry kids in schools? That's happening, if you can believe it. There are people who are like, we can't afford to feed children. There's a federal government commitment now to creating a national food program, and I applaud that, as I'm sure you do too.
You know, good for them, and it does feel like a federal election not that far away either. And if you're flying, maybe WestJet, we have some bad news, potentially.
Pilots are 91% on board with taking strike action if they don't get what they want. So keep track of that as we go into summer travel season, Linda.
Oh my goodness, so much to come. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is taking aim at Premier Eby over carbon tax hikes. CHEK's political correspondent Rob Shaw joins us next.
You got to stay tuned for that. It's like rapid fire with Rob coming up. Hey, viewing party. We got some great shots to share tonight. Joanne, Wilden, and Bella, hello.
Great shot. Caitlin in Tawasin, hello.
And we've got Sue in Sydney. Hi, Sue.
Al, Doug, and Elaine in Nanaimo. Was just in Nanaimo. Love it there.
It's so cool. Okay, you want to get involved? Viewing party at czechmedia.ca. Take a picture of you watching us. Tell us where you're watching from. It's brought to you by the BCRFA.